It is Tuesday, January 8th, 2019, and we are back at it with some baseball talk. We've been gone for the past 3 weeks. We're going to get back at it today. We got a lot to talk about, including the two big fish, Manny Machado and Bryce Harper. Where are they going to end up? The reliever market starting to heat up. We'll see what's going on with that and much more. I'm Bobby Thompson.
I'm Julian Gallardi, and honestly, Bobby, we've missed so much stuff. It's been 3 weeks. I have a crazy rundown here we got to go through, but we got to start with Machado, man. What in the world is going on with this? Honestly, the reporting has been terrible. I'm calling out everyone. I'm starting with Dan Clark. He's absolutely fraudulent. This man said that Machado would be with the Yankees early January. Now he's trying to pretend like he still knows, but I'll tell you what, if we sign him, it's not because he reported it. His reporting was horrible, and all the stories I've been seeing are terrible. No one knows anything. Any concrete offers have been made. Everyone is just assuming. They're trying to make the story up as it's going along, and no one has it right.
No, and it's really starting to get ridiculous. You know, every time you check social media, every time you get a MLB insider, they all say one thing, and it seems to be going in the opposite direction.
There's nothing that's concrete. The only one I trust is Rosenthal, honestly. So, he's like my most trusted guy. Like, I don't trust anyone else at this point. Well, everyone's throwing out a bunch of fraudulent stuff.
Well, yeah, and honestly, I'm going to say this as well. I'm also getting sick and tired of the waiting games. The MLB free agency period is so slow.
Yes.
It's very, very irritating.
It's horrendous, honestly. It's embarrassing to the sport. Baseball is the worst by far. Football moves, basketball moves, hockey moves. Why does baseball take 10 years for someone to sign? You really might be waiting 3 months into the offseason for Machado or Bryce Harper to sign, which is unreal.
Yeah, and you know what? We've heard so many things, and I'll get into it to start with Machado. First of all, we all know.
Let's try to decipher all this stuff.
First of all, we all know what he wants. He wants 10 years, $300 million. He's not getting that anywhere.
That's been established. That seems to be the only thing that everyone's sure about. That's about the only thing.
Nobody's going to give him
He's
that.
not getting his 10 for 300. I can almost guarantee that. I would almost bet my life on it at this point.
What is he going to get? So, 8 years around between 220 and 270, I saw as something that could work out. That's doable.
I'm feeling like 7 to 8 years, anywhere in the range of 225 to 275. Like you said, I think you got it down on pack, honestly.
What I would do right now, if I was the Yankees, first of all, we all know, what we could also talk about is the Yankees. I want to get into with the Yankees. The Yankees right now, we all know, this offseason is about getting players. And, you know, we whiffed on Patrick Corbin.
Mm-hmm, we did.
And if we whiff out on Machado, I'm not going to be a happy person.
No, unless we sign Bryce Harper. Yes. But it doesn't seem we have any interest, which is still puzzling to me. We'll get into Harper, too. But right now it's more about Manny at this moment. So, Machado, let's break this down. I've heard reports that the Phillies are making a second offer. I don't know what that means.
I heard that too.
I guess they'll up it. I don't know what the original one was.
I think that's a smokescreen now.
And the White Sox, I'm hearing, they got John Jay, so now Machado's definitely coming with Yadier Alonso because they all work out together. Please give me a break. John Jay improves the win by two wins. We were joking on Twitter, me and one of my followers. I retweeted this thing, the White Sox are a below-average 69 win team to a now lethal powerhouse 71 win team with John Jay. And let me tell you something, White Sox Nation, I'm not about it. They come at me all the time. If Machado signs there, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to have to eat crow because I think he has no chance of going there still. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Any of the stuff about him going to the White Sox is nonsense to me until he actually signs to play for the White Sox, and I don't know why anyone would do that still. I think it's a horrible decision. They have good prospects, sure, but they're still 2 years away from competing, even with Machado at the best.
Yeah, and, you know, I don't know what's so enticing to play for the Chicago White Sox. If it was the Chicago Cubs, I would understand.
That's a different story. That's a different story.
I'm not going to lose out on probably one of the best infielders in baseball.
To the White Sox. If the Yankees, let me tell you something. But if the Yankees let that happen and he actually signs there, oh man, I am going to be livid. Let me tell you something. It's ridiculous if they let him walk to the White Sox. I can live with the Phillies paying him a lot, and at least the Phillies are more attractive. They have a decent market. They were an 80-win team last year around. He could actually make them a playoff team and a viable contender. I buy that so much more than him going to the White Sox.
I think personally, let's all put it this way. I know I'm going to sound like a biased Yankee fan. I honestly think he's going to end
No,
up signing
everything.
with us.
Yes, like he still wants to play for the Yankees. Here's where we need to get into as well. So it's very well known that we're his first choice. It's also known that he would switch to third base for us.
He would do whatever we ask him.
Both of those things are well known, and it's also been reported that his wife wants him to play for the Yankees. So maybe she can be the deciding factor. Me and Bobby were joking that she could be the closer. I really hope she gets to save like Mariano Rivera if that's the case.
He just got married too a few months ago. So according to the MLB.TV app that sends some alerts.
I have it.
I got this yesterday. They said that his wife, I forgot her name, whatever her name is loves Manhattan. And she wants to live in Manhattan.
That sounds good with me.
Also, another thing that said is she has a big say in what he does.
Of course. Just so Patrick Corbin's wife apparently pursued him to go to Washington.
Listen, I'm about to get married myself, and listen, I'll be honest, sometimes my fiance dictates what I do sometimes too.
I'm sure she'll be laughing when she sees this.
It happens too. So, look, you're right. Patrick Corbin, why did he sign with the Nationals? His wife had something to do with it, too.
They also gave him that paper, too. The Yankees didn't want to give him that. But his wife was huge, like Bobby said.
Yeah.
So let's look deeper into this, and I'm just wondering, why are the Yankees waiting so long? What are we waiting for? And you can't argue with me that Machado does not make this team a better team if you get him. He's had 5.7 wins above replacement. And that's about double, actually more than double what Andujar had because of his offensive struggles. I'm not the biggest WAR guy, but this kind of shows the difference between the two players in this instance.
Yeah.
Also, Machado had a career high in batting average of 297. He tied his career high in homers with 37, and he set a career high in RBIs in 107. So to me, it seems like a player that's peaking at the right time. And imagine if you put him in the lineup with Judge and Stanton. Tell me how that's not a great lineup. And why? Who can deny that? Come on, that 2 through 4 is sick.
Listen, you know what?
That's what dreams are made out of.
Exactly. you with that lineup, that would be such a scary lineup that nobody's gonna want to pitch to it. And
no,
what he brings to the Yankees is he doesn't just bring a great glove. He brings a great bat.
Yeah.
And listen. I'm tired of people saying that we don't need him and that he's a cancer to the
I don't like that at all. I mean, the Dodgers made the World Series. Are you trying to tell me that Machado was the reason they lost to the Red Sox? Because he wasn't. Did he play that great? No. But the Red Sox were destined. Everything was going their way. They won it in 5 games. I don't even think if he was on his A game that he can make up 3 games in a series. That's ridiculous.
He used to be on the Orioles, and we know what he brings to the table.
Of course we do.
Listen, last year in the beginning of the year, what really got me into this guy is at Yankee Stadium he had two monster home runs.
That's right. I may have actually been there that day. We lost the Orioles. I may have been there.
Listen. He's 26 years old.
He's 26. Yes,
he's our age. It needs to happen.
He's a generational talent. You don't get this many chances to sign this guy this good, this young on the open market. And there's Bryce Harper too, which we're about to get to. But Machado is the one for the Yankees because Didi's injured. He makes the most sense because Tulowitzki is not the answer by any means.
And we'll get into that as well.
Yes, Tulo we'll touch on later, but this is still more about Manny. I'm getting frustrated with the front office because I'm going to tell you something. If the Yankees don't get Machado and don't get Harper, we're looking up at the Boston Red Sox next year. I don't care what anyone says. If you don't get one of them, you're not closing that gap.
No, listen, I think Brian Cashman is smart enough to know the Red Sox are loaded and they're just getting better and better. And the fact that we have the resources
to get
Machado and Harper, at least, listen, I understand.
We can't do both, I guess.
We are not going to do both. But
I would like it, but it won't happen.
I don't care which one it is. Me personally, if it were up to me, I would rather have Machado, if you ask me.
Me too, honestly.
But if we could get one of those guys, I will be content.
So would I.
And listen, Yankees right now, what do? We buy our championships. We have a chance to buy a championship.
It's funny you say that because
after 10 years of not winning one.
Yes.
And 10 years ago in this time, Julian, what did we do?
We bought 3 players and won it all.
We bought 3 of the best players on the market.
And they delivered for us. All of them Burnett, Ceesay, and Teixeira are all huge in that World Series. We paid them, and they did what they had to, and we won it because we weren't scared to pay, and we were over the tax. Now, we signed Zach Britton, which I'll get to also, but Britton pushed us over the tax slightly. The only argument that could be made is that if you move Gray, which we'll also get into, you can go back under. But I really hope the team does not try to stay under. It doesn't make any sense. We've been under for the past 2 or 3 seasons. I think 2, actually, because we started the rebuild, shedding all that salary with Beltran, Miller, and Chapman 2 seasons ago, I believe. That was the 2016 season all that happened.
Yeah.
So we've been under for 2017, under for 2018. It's time to get back over. And Bobby said about us spending money, we don't spend as much as you would think, honestly. Last season, it was the lowest it's been. I'm going to pull this up because I have the numbers here. 36% of revenue went back into the team. That was it. That's the lowest it's been since 2001. To me, that's unacceptable. That's disgusting, and it's gross. What are you doing with that money? Why do you need to pocket all that money? I heard something that Hal might want to buy back the Yes Network, but that does not mean a thing to me, and I honestly could care less about that. Why don't you go buy us some championships like we used to do? It's been 10 years. I've had enough of it.
Well, yeah, you know what?
It's not the old Yankees. People need to get that out of their head. This is a different team. It's a different time, and we haven't won in 10 years because our roster hasn't been good enough to win.
You know what? Listen, sometimes you got to spend money to go get results, and the Yankees right now.
We haven't been doing it.
No, we haven't been doing it, and I'm tired of mediocrity. I'm tired. The Yankees are supposed to be an average 97 to 100 win team a year. I'm tired of mediocrity. I'm tired of when we, for years, we've been to the playoffs the past few years. What did we do before that? After we won the title in 2009, we were horrendous. I'm tired of this. I am tired of the Yankees. This right here, right behind us, right here. That is supposed to
represent greatness and legends. Yes.
7 titles. I am sick.
Where's 28? I've been waiting 10 years.
I am sick to death. They got rid of the garbage of a manager that is Joe Girardi, and yes, I think he's garbage. Listen. They need to make something happen, and I'm telling you this as a Yankees fan: if they don't go out and get Machado, and they don't go out and get Harper, and also if they also whiff on Ottavino,
we'll get to Ottavino too.
This table go off. I'm going to break this table, and on our video, I will choke slam somebody through this table.
I agree. This is ridiculous, dude. Come on, just go give Machado his money. Why is this a game of chicken? We need to freaking get him down on our terms. I'm sick of hearing our terms. What are our terms? We haven't won in 10 years. We're not the same Yankees anymore. We don't have the same respect as we used to either. We still have a ton of respect, and people and players love playing with us, but it's not the same Yankees. We have to get that out of our head. Yankee fans are too entitled. How in the world are you going to tell me that we can start the season with Troy Tulowitzki and we're fine without Machado? The stuff I see online is ridiculous. It makes me sick. They're so entitled. They really think we can sign up Tulo and he's going to play. The man didn't even play a game last year. You don't even know what he has left. And when he did play, he was hitting 249, and he had 7 homers and 26 RBIs in just 66 games. This man has played 66 games in the last 2 years. Tulo was great, yes. He was a 5-time All-Star. He won 2 Gold Gloves and 2 Silver Sluggers, but his time has came and went. He's not that dude anymore. I'm just hoping we can get a version of him, honestly, like a decent version of him. That's the better way to put it. I just want like something respectable if he does have to play, but he shouldn't have to play that much because we should sign Machado, honestly. What's going on here? It's already early January. The more time that passes, the less confident I get, although the more time that passes, there's less money they're going to have to accept because they're getting closer to the season, so they're going to have to accept something.
It just makes me so furious.
I need a breath.
It makes me furious with all this stuff. And, reading around Twitter and all that, it says somebody threw out that the Yankees terms would offer him 5 for 180, and that's just a slap in the face.
Yes, if you pay Machado under 200, that's a slap in the face, and he should laugh at you and leave the meeting. If you actually offer under 200, that's sickening. He's at least a 225 to 275, like we said, for 7 or 8 years. You can't go less than that. If you do, you deserve to have him leave you high and dry, honestly. That's not right for him. And here's another interesting thing speaking of that. There's a very unsettling stuff going on with this free agency. And the players are not getting the money they deserve. Because baseball is at an all-time high with revenue. $10.3 billion last year, brother. Set another record, and the owners don't want to spend money. You have like 5 or 6 teams that seriously send. Who else besides us are big spenders? Let's go through this. So we're big spenders. Red Sox. Who else?
Dodgers. Cubs are big spenders.
Nationals, you could say, I guess. They're on the fence. And they had that offer on the table for Harper. Apparently 10 for $300, maybe even a little more, which he still hasn't taken, but that's a whole other story. And the Cardinals kind of spend money. They're a big market team. Giants actually spend a lot, too. They just have have bad contracts right now, so it doesn't seem like it.
You know what? All these teams, listen, these owners, the fact that last year baseball made $10.3 billion, and
that's with a B, not an M.
Yes.
Let's
billion,
yes.
$1 billion. That's a
lot of money.
These owners are like Wall Street going in and walking into, let's see, I want to put it in a way that makes a lot of sense. They're multi-billionaires, all of them.
Yeah,
they
are.
It's like going into a 5-star restaurant and seeing a $50 steak and knowing you could afford it, knowing you want
just
it,
not getting
but instead you settle for a $15 steak at Outback Steakhouse.
That's a great way to put it. There you go.
That's like going around here, going to Rails and settling for Outback.
Oh my God.
And I just don't. And listen, I love the Outback Steakhouse. So,
yeah, it's a good place, but it's not. It's nothing compared to what you said.
When you got the money, listen,
you spend it.
I don't understand why going cheap. Nothing works with going cheap. Okay, nothing.
How many small market teams have won the World Series? I would say about one in recent memory. The Royals in 2015, their payroll wasn't that high.
And what do they do now? They're garbage.
And they're terrible. You see, it's exactly how it goes. That can only work once. You remember Tampa Bay? They had a nice run too.
But and they're actually to the Phillies.
Yes, they're actually coming back, but they took a while. And the small market teams only last for so long. You can't sustain it because you need to pay your players. It's baseball. You need good players all over the field. You need good pitchers. You need good bullpen guys. You need good infielders. You need good outfielders. You need a good catcher. And all that stuff costs money. You can't beat around the bush with that. It doesn't work. It works in the regular season. Like the Oakland A's, yeah, they're a nice regular season team. But
they just play Moneyball all the time. That's all. Billy Bean just does the Moneyball.
This is my point. So the A's and Rays, great examples. They don't spend that much money. They have great evaluators in their front office, so I got to give those guys credit because they really
Billy Bean's one of the best in baseball.
Oh, he's great, but they really turn nothing into something all the time with limited resources. But that can't get you all the way to the top, and that's all it's about for the Yankees. You need to win it all. It's a failure if you don't. That's what it is, and that's what it's not being treated like, and I'm really sick of it. And if we don't sign one of the big two, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this team. I really don't.
It's just, it's frustrating, and
I just want a resolution to this. Listen, I think all Yankee fans do. Most of us, I would still say, want Machado. I would put it at 60-40 if I had to gauge it, when 40 for not wanting him is still way too high. But regardless, okay. So let's move on for a bit from Machado. Let's say we don't get Machado. I want to look at some of the fallback options. I know this is tough to do, but let's try to gear our fans in case we don't feel like spending money. So, Mike Moustakas jumps out at me as a great fallback if we don't get Machado, honestly.
Mike Moustakas?
Because he's a lefty bat. We need lefties desperately. He can play first and he can play third. So, the first base situation's a little unsettling still. I'm still a Luke Voit guy. I believe in Voit. Greg Bird is absolute garbage. I don't believe in anything for Greg Bird. I'm not in that fan club at all. If anyone tries to tell me about Greg Bird, I won't even listen. I won't even entertain it. That guy's absolute trash to me. He gets injured all the time. He's terrible.
No, I don't like Greg Bird at all. I've said this from day one. I said last year we should have went out and got Moustakas. Did I not?
You did tell me. So here's the thing.
It's too late.
No, we could still get... Well, I don't want Moose, but I'm just thinking hypothetically in case we couldn't get Machado.
Listen to me. I think we need to go young. And you know what?
Well, Moose is only 30. I mean, he's not too old. I get what you're saying.
No, but we...
Does Marwin Gonzales interest you more, for example?
Yes, okay. I'll tell you what. If we lose out on the big two, if we could...
What happened?
If we could... It's that.
Okay.
So, if we could go out and get Marwin Gonzales, you know what? That would
soften the blow. I agree.
Right now is like... I'll tell you this, right? What it feels like as a Yankee fan, it feels like Machado's holding a knife to your arm, right?
Honestly.
And if he
And
does not sign with you, it's just gonna.
Each day it just goes a little more until he's ready to gash it and rip our hearts out because we're being cheap.
The one thing
I just hope that doesn't happen, please.
It's a tease, and it's just we need to make something happen. I'm tired of this.
So,
it is January 8th. Pitchers and catchers report.
Let's
in
go through
a month.
And there's so many big names out there. A.J. Pollock hasn't signed. Marwin, like we said. Dallas Keuchel hasn't signed. Craig Kimbrel hasn't signed. Adam Ottavino, like we talked about. These are the big fish left. Marwin Gonzales, like we already mentioned. Moustakas is the lesser. Brian Dozier, too, as well. He can be an interesting bounce-back option. But Moustakas, let's break him down. He had 2.5 wins above replacement. He hit 251 at 28 homers and 95 RBIs, so he can get the ball out of the ballpark at the stadium. There's no question about that. And then in 2017, he actually had 38 homers and 85 RBIs. Well,
really?
In 247.
No,
so Moose has power. Like, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Obviously, I want Manny, but I agree with Bobby, though. Marwin Gonzales would definitely be a little bit better. If we were able to do that.
Listen, that's settling. We're settling for what's left. That's basically like we're about to reel in the big fish, and we let the big fish go, and we bring in a goldfish. Basically, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, so Marwin had a down year last year. He only hit 247, but in 2017, this man hit 303 at 23 homers and 98 RBIs. So he has good baseball in him still, I believe. And he's also younger than Moustakas. And the bonus with this is that he could also play the outfield so we can sit down Brett Gardner, because Gardner should not be playing. I don't want him playing at all, really. He should only play a few games if he's needed as depth. That's fine. I don't want to open this season with Brett Gardner in left field. I don't like that at all. Even though he's in our 9 spot, he's old, he's ancient, he doesn't hit for a high average, doesn't steal that many bases anymore. What is he doing for me out there?
Nothing.
He doesn't do a thing, you're right.
Absolutely nothing. He does. Why did we bring him back and waste $7 million?
Yes, that's the other thing. Thank you for getting me to this, because you can't complain about money and bring back CC and Brett Gardner for almost $20 million combined. Do not do that to me, because if you didn't get them, you could have signed Ottavino with that money. And you could have started, and it could have helped you ease the pain for the Machado contract. But you know what? I'm fine with them being back if we're not cheap. But if we're cheap, I'm not okay with it. That's really what it comes down to for me. But there's a lot of stuff left that we got to figure out still.
So, I'll tell you this just real quick.
But thanks for getting me into that, because I had to get that off.
And I'll end it like this: Brett Gardner's a shell of himself. He's garbage.
Yes.
He's not. I will tell you this: what does he bring to the table? Nothing. His speed is gone. His bat is mediocre.
The only thing he does is defense, but he let that ball that Kinsler hit go over his head that basically cost us that game in the playoffs.
And also,
so how good is his defense now?
I think his throwing arm sucks.
It's not that great. He always had good range, but, we don't need him out there anymore. We need lefty power. He's not lefty power. That's the thing. We need lefty bats, but not him. It's really unsettling right now. But if we get Machado, I could live with him hitting 9th. I'll deal with it. It's not the worst thing in the world. But if we don't get him and Gardner has to hit 9th, and we have Tulo in there too, that's a little different.
Yeah. So
actually, a lot different, not a little different.
We'll see what happens. I just want to see Machado in this. That's all I want to see.
So, what's up with Sabathia? You told me something before the show about Sabathia.
So, CC Sabathia, as you all know, he had a clogged artery, and he had to get surgery. And that's something listen, when you have clogged arteries that block your heart from pumping blood into your veins, that's terrible, and that's life-threatening. And we're very, very happy.
I'm happy he's okay.
Very happy that he was at the stadium at the time too, and the doctor
for Machado. He was there for a Machado meeting.
He wanted to be there to meet Machado, so that says something. That's another thing which we will.
Machado's close with a lot of guys in the team too. It makes so much sense. Just freaking give him his money already.
So, but with CC, what he did was he was cleared today to work out, so that's a big plus. And with that, that's going to lead into stuff with Sonny Gray. So George,
here we go. So I am praying to God, that Sonny Gray does not come to spring training with us. I do not want this guy anywhere near us. He is absolute garbage. He is a dumpster fire. He is terrible. That image of him walking up the mound smiling after getting shelled by the Baltimore Orioles, who are the worst team in the league, got destroyed by them. It's sickening. He's not a New Yorker. He can't pitch here. His stadium ERA is horrendous. He can actually pitch well on the road, but he cannot pitch at the stadium. He was 11-9. His ERA was a 4.9. His wins above replacement were .6. This guy did absolutely nothing, and he was garbage the whole year. And it's not going to change next year. If you don't get rid of this guy, I'm going to be furious. I don't want to hear about CeCe's health. Get another starter. You can find someone better. I would honestly use Jonathan Loizaga over Sonny Gray, to be honest. I'm serious. Loizaga's not bad either.
Listen, man, I'm sorry. Sonny Gray needs to go. Yes, we know that.
Get him on a one-way, please.
He has proven to us that it was a waste of a prospective trade to the A's at the time.
We sent 3 actually.
Yeah, and what have they all done? Nothing.
Well, they haven't been that good at least,
No.
but still.
Look,
regardless, it was horrible.
But look, listen. Sonny Gray just doesn't fit in New York. And
No.
I think both parties would benefit from leaving.
Cashman has handled this horribly, but Bobby's right. Both parties will benefit from leaving. He said he was openly shopping him, and he's gotten a bunch of hits on Gray, although he hasn't liked anything enough, I guess. Here's the thing. The Padres remain interested. I would send him there for a bag of seeds, honestly. I don't care what they give us. I don't care what the return is for Gray. Just get him out of here. I do not even care what we get back at this point. I just don't want this man pitching any innings for us at all. Not in the bullpen, not as a starter, not as an emergency guy. No, nothing. Get him out now.
I agree.
The more time that passes, the more disgusted I get. He's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, and it was hard to watch too because we
I was in Toronto actually. Thank you for bringing that up. I went to Toronto to watch my Yankees play. And and guess what? Who was pitching? Sonny Gray. Who did not get out of the third inning? Sonny Gray. Who gave up 5 runs? Sonny Gray. Who gave up a moonshot to Justin Smoke? That would also be Sonny Gray. And he made my day horrible that day. It was a nice trip, but he had a blemish on it, of course. I've seen this guy pitch, and I just can't do it anymore.
No, I can't do it either. And I think everyone in baseball, I don't know why anybody would want to even pick him up.
Well, he's better on other teams, honestly. Like, he was good for Oakland, and he pitches well on the road. He makes sense for other teams. He just can't pitch here. That's the vibe I'm getting. He could be serviceable somewhere else. I think he could be.
More power to it, and I wish him well. But honestly, it's about time. Now that we heard this news, don't be surprised if you hear the Yankees work on a trade, and then you'll see more dominoes fall.
really hope so, dude. I can't stress that enough. Yeah. But here's the other thing that we should do. Yankees, here we go. Blueprint. Sign Machado.
Yep.
Trade Andujar for Corey Kluber. I'm sorry, Yankee fans. Some of you don't want to see him go, but I think this is just a no-brainer if this can get done. Andujar, maybe a couple prospects, not too high, because Andujar is really good in his own right. So you trade for Kluber, then you could dump Gray. There's no issue about the rotation anymore. Your infield is set. You could play Tulo at short till Didi gets hurt. I'm okay with that as long as we have Machado. I'm fine with playing Tulo if we have Machado. And we get Kluber, I won't complain at all. I can live with Tulo at that point. I just don't want Tulo and Andujar and no Machado. That's what I can't do.
If we can trade Andujar, and we know that, and get a pitcher like Kluber, and we have Paxton now, of course.
Yes, Paxton's good. I'm happy about Paxton and Hap.
And we bring in
Britton,
Machado.
Which we'll get to.
Machado, I think that would be a pretty good offseason. And then I will come on this show and personally apologize to Brian Cashman.
Yes, our grades aren't done. I'm not grading anything yet. Nothing's official. Nothing's done. The report is incomplete right now. That's what it is. It's very up and down right now. I like some of the moves. I don't like some of the moves. So that's where we're at right now, and we got to see how this finishes up. But speaking of Machado, there was actually something about the Sonny Gray stuff I wanted to get to, though. Profar was traded from the A's to the Rangers, and we could have gotten him for Sonny Gray, apparently. We could have actually got this player, and he's a second baseman shortstop. So if we don't get Machado and we let him slip and we held on to Sonny Gray, then what were we doing? Profar is not amazing by any means, only had 2 wins above replacement, but he's only 25 years old. He has room to grow. He's a switch hitter, so we can get a little lefty action in there. He had 20 homers, 77 RBIs, a .254 average, which is a little low, but here's the thing. Let's see the whole return. So Profar, Jurickson Profar went to the A's, and the A's received 4 prospects: Burke, White, Bird, Espanol, and the Rays received the reliever Emilio Pagan and a prospect Rolly Lacy, as well as some competitive balance pick. And the Rangers also got some international bonus pool money. The Rangers got those prospects. The A's got Profar. So that was a decent trade for the A's because it probably means they're going to move on from Jed Lowrie, who's a free agent. Lowry's an interesting option. 23 homers, 99 RBIs, 267 average. Wins above replacement, 4.8. Pretty solid for Lowry, to be honest. But he's 34 years old. He's going to sign later for a shorter-term deal. And I don't think that the Yankees will consider him. I think they want to go younger, like Bobby said. Even though he's a switch hitter and he would bring some lefty power as well, I don't think that's the direction we're looking. I'm not sure if we would do Marwin Gonzales either. I'm just hoping Machado's our guy, honestly. And the back with Corey Kluber, there has been some more talks about they've reopened, sort of. I'm not sure what's so concrete with that, but I heard the Indians want Major League talent back for him. And who has Major League talent to give back? We do. So I think it would be a good match.
Yes, we do.
I think we should make it happen. But here's the issue with that. We can't do this before Machado situation gets resolved, because if we trade Andujar, Machado holds us hostage and we have no leverage.
Yes.
So that can't happen. This would have to be after a Machado deal was agreed on.
Yep.
And if we don't get him, Andujar's not going anywhere.
Yeah. No.
So
if
that's
we don't
that.
get him, we need to keep Andujar. So
it's all in the balance if we get him or not.
So
he's really holding up the offseason.
Yeah, Manny Machado is literally holding our future in the palm of his hands.
Yes,
frankly.
he really is, to be honest about it. So let's go over the reliever market now. I think it's a good time.
Yep.
So the Yankees bring back Zach Britton.
Very good trade.
3 years, $40 million. Me and Bobby
And
were
he has-
happy about this.
Doesn't he have an option for a 4th?
Yes, it's a very interesting contract here because he can opt out after 2 years or opt in. So it's basically like after 2 years, we need to assess the situation and we need to see if we want to keep going or if he'll opt out. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen with that. Britton was 0.7 wins above replacement. He was 2-0 with a 3.10 last year. Had 34 strikeouts in 41 games, but he's not a strikeout guy. That's what you got to realize. It's all about his sinker ball. It's nasty. He needs to get those ground outs. But in 2016, this guy was the best reliever in baseball. I did not stutter. He was the best reliever in baseball. His ERA was .54. It was under 1. This guy was that good. You know, Buck Showalter infamously let Ubaldo Jimenez pitch the 11th inning in that game against Toronto. Probably the stupidest decision I've ever seen in my life of watching baseball. And I have been watching baseball for over 20 years, and I think that takes the cake for the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It was so idiotic.
Yeah, it was.
It's not the Ubaldo from Colorado. It was the washed-up Ubaldo with Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are you doing, Buck? Come on, you got to be better than that.
Well, why do you think he doesn't have a job now? Because of all those decisions.
That's what led to it. That's what led to the downfall of the Orioles, actually. They never recovered from that.
Listen, Zach Britton, the fact that we got him from the Orioles, I was shocked.
He's a 7th-inning guy, too. You have a closer pitching in the 7th inning. How do you not like this?
Listen, and with this,
and he can also be insurance if Chapman gets injured. He's basically our second closer, so I love it.
Literally just read my mind. I was just going to say, this is such a great signing.
I'm a big Britton guy.
The one thing I do like about what Cashman did is he focused on that bullpen, because when...
Yes, that's the one thing I have to give him credit for. The bullpen's good.
He understands that if we can't get another top-flight starter, we're going to have to worry about 4 or 5 innings and then go to the bullpen.
Yes.
And that's what...
Okay, so let's go over the other relievers that have signed. Andrew Miller signed with the Cardinals, I believe, around 2 years for $25 million.
Yeah,
I want to say.
I was kind of hoping the Yankees would bring him back, but you know what? I understand, and I'm much happier with Britton.
Yeah, so Miller has 0.2 wins above replacement. He was 2-4. His ERA was 4.2 on the season. Had 45 strikeouts in 31 games. But in 2017, his ERA was 1.4. If Miller can stay healthy, I think it's a nice move for the Cardinals. David Robertson also signed a similar deal with Philadelphia, 2 years, around $25 million, I believe it was.
He also doesn't have an agent. He did all that negotiating himself.
Yes, he did, which is very interesting to me. And it worked out all right for him, I think, because I think he's around equal to Andrew Miller. And I think Britton's worth more than both of them, honestly, because of his previous closing experience and the pedigree he has. I know people argue that Miller could be worth more, but and they think we overpaid for Britton, but I don't think so. I think it was fine, honestly.
Listen, overpay for one of the best relievers in baseball, I don't believe it
Because
at all.
yes, his best baseball still ahead of him. He was coming off injury. He still had to get himself back together. His command was an issue. I expect him to be comfortable with full season, spring training. He's happy to be back. He's going to be ready to go right away, and I can't wait to see him get those outs.
I agree. I'm looking forward to it. When we got him, I was very excited. I thought he brought a lot to the team. He did struggle a little bit.
Yes, he had his issues. He did.
But
he wasn't
also,
perfect.
this is a brand new year. And
Achilles is a serious injury, though.
Oh, he had an Achilles injury?
Yes, that's what he was coming back from.
Oh, so this year, watch him be lights out again. You watch. I
know. He's only 31 years old, too.
And also, I really like him a lot. I think and also, if we can get that one last piece out of Ottavino.
Yes, Ottavino talk is coming. Ottavino talk is coming. Before I get to Ottavino, Kelvin Herrera agreed to a deal with the White Sox yesterday, 2 years and $18 million. So I think that takes him out of the Ottavino market. But let's go through Herrera quickly. 1.6 wins above replacement. He was 2-3. He had an ERA of 2.4, and he had 38 strikeouts in 48 games. Herrera was a stud for the Royals. He was a big part of the reason why they won the World Series. So he had a rough injury at the end of last season. If the White Sox can get him close to what he used to be, that will be a bargain for them.
Yep.
So Ottavino, let's go. We've been teasing him this whole show almost. So let's break it down. So Ottavino is a very interesting case. He had a great season last year, and he was 6-4 with a 2.4 ERA, and he struck out 112 batters, and probably second to Dylan Betances out of all the relievers, if I had to guess. I don't really know, but I'm assuming that's right.
In my opinion, Dylan Betances didn't even have a good year last year. He struggled in the beginning.
He did. I'll get that. So Ottavino in 2017 was pretty awful, though. So what guy are you getting? I guess that's the question some people have, and that's probably why he hasn't signed yet. In 63 games in 2017, he was 2-3. His ERA was over 5, had 63 strikeouts. He was absolute garbage, let's be honest.
Yes.
But he made adjustments. He changed his arm release. That slide piece was looking nasty last year. So let's see how he can hold this up. But like Bobby said, go get him, Yankees. Complete that bullpen. If the starters are going to be an issue and we can't trade for another starter, you got to show in the game out of that bullpen.
Yep.
So I'm all for Ottavino. I would give him slightly less than we gave Britton. Maybe something around the Robertson, Miller neighborhood would be fair for him. Those guys honestly have better track records than him. They've done it for way longer.
Yeah.
I mean, Ottavino's a good pitcher, but he hasn't sustained success like they have. So Ottavino would be a home run for the Yankees. You would have Ottavino, Britton, Betances, Chapman, Green, Holder. Man, those are some studs. I like how that looks.
Watch out, especially with listen, I think this
Tarpley too. Actually, Tarpley's not bad. I like Tarpley.
I think that this Yankees bullpen has
the potential to be great.
A chance to be so dominant that if you have to face one of these guys, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, and you're not going to have success.
It can be the best bullpen of all time, in my opinion. If you put them all together, I think it could be the best bullpen ever.
I agree.
And it could rival that Royals bullpen in 2015 because that one was special.
Listen, I think that it will surpass that.
I think that bullpen was special.
I think the way we surpass that is if we win a World Series.
Right. Herrera, Holland, and Davis were all lights out, though. Those three were unhittable. Like, the game was over after 6 innings if you were playing the Royals. That's how they won the World Series. Yep. Their starting pitching wasn't that good. They won it off the bullpen. Our starters are better than what they had back then.
Absolutely.
So maybe to his point, if we don't get Machado and we fix that bullpen, we're going to have to win that way maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm all for that. I think Ottavino's decision could come soon. It's hard for me to put timetables on things because this offseason moves so slow, so don't hold me to anything I'm saying here, but I'm going to expect Ottavino to sign by Friday. I think he'll sign with us. And because who wants to play for the Texas Rangers?
No, yeah. If it had to come down between the Rangers and Yankees, I mean, come on now, let's go.
I'm pretty sure he's ready. If he sponsors for the Rangers, that'll just tell me a lot about him, honestly.
Yeah, listen.
Like, that just means he's scared. He doesn't want to step up to the plate.
Listen, you're on the big stage. You have a chance to go to the World Series. You have a chance.
You could be part of the greatest bullpen ever.
And you have a chance.
You can't throw out away to play for the Texas Rangers.
You have a chance to be part of the most storied franchise in sports.
And he's from New York too. It all makes too much sense. He's got to come home and complete that bullpen.
I think he's sitting down right now, smiling, saying, "If
he's probably laughing right now."
Saying, "If the Yankees give me a call, I'm going to be like, all right, sign me up."
He's gonna. I think he'll come to terms soon.
Now, let me ask you this: quick question about Ottavino.
What's up?
Is he more of an off-speed pitch guy? Is he
yes.
He doesn't have fastballs.
He's a big slider guy. He goes.
Is it nasty?
It's disgusting though. His movement is sick. He's got some nice pitches, but he's not really a fastball guy. His stuff is the slide piece is his key.
Okay.
That's what you're looking for.
Does he have a break? He throws curves and all that?
Yeah, he does. He has a weird arm slot too. Like the way he releases it, it's kind of unconventional. So it's almost like a sidearm, but not like the full sidearm.
Okay.
So Ottavino, his stuff is deception and his breaking stuff. That's what's key for him.
Okay.
But that's fine. I'm okay with it. We have enough power in that bullpen anyway. Like, our guys gas it up. But between Betances, Chapman, and Green,
Listen, when you have Chapman who averages what, 101?
Yeah, like over 100.
My nickname for him, he's the flamethrower.
I like the Cuban missile too.
Oh, that's what they call him?
Yeah, that is his nickname. I like that.
He loves being a Yankee too. Doesn't Chapman love it?
He embraces it. He does. I love having Chapman. I always get fired up when I see him run out of that bullpen.
So do I. I love when you go to the game and you hear the sirens and all that. Now, I'll never forget. I was at a Mets Yankees game, and these two guys were in front of me, and we went to the bullpen. He looked. He goes, "It's over." He goes, "You're not getting another hit. It's over." And what happened?
It was over.
He's like, "It's over."
Yeah, I saw him close out that wild card game against the Twins. That was fun. Like
you and I got to see him firsthand. Remember last year? You and I went to some good games. We had
that walk off. Yeah, we had the loss with JT Realmuto. Oh, here we go, JT Realmuto. What's up with JT? Seems to be just as mysterious as Machado. Honestly,
this JT Realmuto stuff to start free agency was the talk, and then it went to the Machado, the Harper, and now
JT's got it back in the mix.
He's starting to get back into the mix, and all I'm hearing is the Braves.
That's the latest thing I've heard. I also heard the Astros are engaged, which will make me sick. I really hope that doesn't happen.
Don't make the rich get richer.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Well, they might not want to trade him in the division. That's the issue. But here's the thing, actually. They're asking for way too much. That's why he hasn't been dealt.
Why don't the Yankees just say, "Can we have it?" He'll give it for a box of pennies because we literally got
Giancarlo for nothing,
and he's a reigning NL MVP.
Yes,
at the time, so.
Right. And I think Giancarlo's gonna have a huge bounce back next year.
So do
well.
I love Giancarlo Stanton.
He'll be over 40 and 100 next year, and I'm gonna say he gets that average up to 270, 280.
I want to see I want to see him just crush home runs.
I love watching his monster shots. But
you got to get him in the outfield more too.
Yes. Sit Brett Gardner down. Get Giancarlo out there. He can play the outfield. Is he the best defender? No, but he's far from the worst. He was with the Marlins. He played every game in the outfield. It's not like he can't do it. And Brett Gardner doesn't need to be playing, like we said. That's another option we could throw out, actually. Yeah. I was thinking about this in my head. Let's say we sign Machado. And we keep I guess we will keep Tulo as long as he's healthy. So, you put Machado at third, Tulo short, Stanton at left, and you DH Andujar. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I think that sounds perfect.
I don't see any issues with that. The only thing is that we're still missing lefties, but I don't think that's going to get addressed, I guess, unless we get Mr. Harper. And now it's time for Bryce Harper. Can't believe it took us this long to get into him.
I agree.
But there's so much stuff that we missed, and Harper is even slower than Machado, if you could believe that.
I mean, listen.
I'm still going to say Machado signs first.
I agree, and don't be surprised if I keep saying this every week, and I'm hoping it's true. I think Manny Machado, don't be surprised if tomorrow you hear rumblings about maybe he's going to make his decision. Because remember with Patrick Corbin, didn't he do the same thing? And then at some point he said, "I'm making my decision." What happened?
Corbin was a little quicker, but I think he took a week or so once he announced everything settled down with Corbin. But okay, Harper. Here's the latest. apparently the Nationals have offered him over 10 years and $300 million.
How do you pass that up?
It was rumored that they upped that offer around Christmas Eve, and they met with him for a couple hours.
I'm going to say 10 years, $325.
It's not. I don't think it's 10 for $350. Bobby might have a decent guess. No one knows the real figures, but that is plausible.
What's the richest contract in baseball? Is it Giancarlo?
Yeah, it is.
And
I think he's 13 for $325. I think. But the Marlins pay some of it off, so it's not that bad. I think we only pay him like $22 a year, so it's kind of a little bargain, honestly. Although people might not think that. But Harper is also meeting with the Phillies. Did you hear about this?
Yes.
On Saturday, he's having a meeting with the Phillies. So
they're flying to him in Vegas.
Yeah,
so
this might be serious. Maybe the Phillies are pressing to get it done. The Phillies want one of the big two. It's been well known.
This is where they spend stupid money. That's where they're.
Let's see if they actually do it. Let's see if this comes to fruition with Bryce Harper. Harper, of course, had a down season, which I think is part of his issue. Let's break down Bryce Harper. He only hit .249 last year, which is not good enough for him, and you would agree with me on that. You know he needs to be better. I know he needs to be better. The whole league knows he needs to be better.
His free agent, his year to make an impact for teams to vie for his services was not very good. But
I think that's the problem he's having.
His resume speaks for himself.
Yes, I'll get to his resume. Okay, in 2015, this man was the MVP. 42 homers, 99 RBIs, a .330 average, and he was the runaway NL MVP. 2015, he was right there with Mike Trout. That's what everyone was saying, is Harper's a Trout. They were 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
But what happened? Unfortunately, in 2017, he went down. He had that gruesome injury, and he hasn't recovered, really. Maybe that's the real problem here. So let's break into this more. 2017, he played 111 games. You want to hear his stats?
Yeah.
.319 batting average. He had 29 homers and 87 RBIs.
Huh.
If you put that out to a full season, he would have easily smashed his MVP numbers besides the batting average.
Oh, God.
Maybe. He might have even got it. He was playing real great before he went down. It's a shame. I hope he gets back to himself because I've been a fan of him as well. I know Bobby's actually a bigger fan of him than I am, to be honest. But I still appreciate and like the player a lot.
I love Bryce Harper. I've always been high on him.
And he fits our stadium so perfectly. That's why it's so disgusting that we're not interested in him.
Yeah.
Like, he would hit 50 bombs at the stadium. Easily.
At Yankee Stadium, I think he would, that short porch and right would just, I would just call it Bryce's territory.
Yeah, they might have, Judge's Chambers out there, that's the issue.
Judge's Chambers, yeah, but how about above the Judge's Chambers?
Wow, imagine. That'd be something. We got two of them out there.
That would be great.
Maybe that's part of the issue. Maybe they're uncomfortable with changing Harper's position.
Yeah.
You think that could be part of our pause, maybe? I don't know. They did float the idea of him playing first base, and honestly, it sounds crazy, but I would sign up for it. And in second, you can't tell me Boyd or Greg Bird deserves first base over Bryce Harper, even though he hasn't played there ever. I'd put him there. Why not?
Oh, God.
It would be a crazy lineup.
Yep.
I guess the only issue is it would be a lot of strikeouts. I guess that could be the issue with it. But it would also be a lot of walks because Harper gets on base a lot,
He's a good on-base percentage, which is pretty good because that could lead to runs as well.
So I'm very surprised the Dodgers haven't been more in touch with Harper. Because now we're going to talk about this trade that me and you both thought was the opening for Bryce Harper. But I haven't heard boo from the Dodgers about Bryce Harper.
Nope.
So let's break down this trade. The Dodgers send their catching prospect Varner. He's 28 years old. He's had a .250 average in his career, I think. He's not that good, honestly. They send Alex Wood, who was a decent pitcher for them, but last year he struggled. Wood, I have his numbers right here. He was just one win above replacement at 9-7 with a 3.6 ERA. But in 2017, Wood had a 2.72, so he fell off last year.
Yeah.
And the Reds are hoping they can resurrect him, and they need all the pitching they can get. So I understand why they would do this. The thing that's intriguing is Puig and Kemp also went to the Reds in this deal, and I'm not entirely sure why they took both of them. I think Puig would have made more sense than Kemp, honestly, because how do you think Puig can do in Cincinnati? You think he can turn it around? You think he can get back to himself?
Well, if he stays out of trouble, because we all know he loves the nightlife. So
that's a good thing.
Listen, the thing in Cincinnati, there is no nightlife.
Yes, maybe it's a good fit.
So listen, I think you're going to see him change. I think this was good for both parties. I think Yasiel Puig, is a great player. I've always been high on him.
Yeah, I like him too.
I have a
do.
Dodgers jersey upstairs of Yasiel
gotta represent
Puig.
my fellow Cubans.
I think I think that he Viva la Cuba. Huh?
Yes, let's get it.
So I think this was it was good. I think he's definitely happy with it. I think he's happy to be out of LA. I think that he's now could focus on baseball. And really, they're not going to compete for championships.
No.
But maybe he's the building block.
Maybe he can help. I mean, the Reds actually have a good offense. The thing is, they have no pitching. Scooter Gennett, Joey Votto. They have Suarez as well.
Joey Votto's so old, but he's so reliable. He
still hits for real good average, though.
He's like the Jason Witten of baseball.
I know that's funny, but. So, Puig had 267 average, just 23 homers, 65 ribbies, and 15 steals. Matt Kemp had a decent season. He started well, but kind of tapered off. Had a 1.1 win above replacement. Hit 290, 21 homers, and 85 RBIs, but he doesn't really play any defense. I'm assuming that's why his WAR is so low. And the Reds, they ship Homer Bailey off in this deal. And that makes all the sense in the world because Homer Bailey is garbage. This guy's the worst pitcher in the league, potentially. He's 1-14 with ERA over 6 last season. So that's how good Bailey is. And the Dodgers aren't even going to use him. This was a salary dump. They did this to get rid of Kemp's contract, to get rid of Puig, to get rid of Wood. That's why I was thinking that it was going to be to get Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Because they were able to dump that money, and they traded 2 outfielders, so where's the opening? It's right there. But they don't seem to want to do it for some reason, which I'm surprised by, honestly. Because the Dodgers need to win the World Series. They still haven't got it done. They've spent a lot of money, but they still haven't won it all. 2 straight failures. And the issue, I guess, is that their lineup is very left-handed heavy. I think that's the other problem they're facing. Kind of how the Yankees are very righty-heavy.
Yeah,
it's the opposite end of the spectrum.
It should be the opposite.
Yeah, it's actually pretty unique, I guess, how that switched. But here's the thing with Harper. I think that I'm going to say it's Phillies or Nationals, I think. That's my belief at this point. I didn't even think Washington had a chance back before this all started, but I think it's one of those two. How do you see this going? You said Phillies. Are you sticking by Phillies for Harper?
Yeah, I'm sticking by Phillies for Harper, mainly because they're going to spend stupid money and they're going to give him close to what he wants.
Speaking of stupid money, do you think they would overpay Craig Kimbrel?
The Phillies?
Yeah. His market is for apparently Braves and Red Sox. We haven't touched on him yet.
Well, I don't think they would spend stupid money on Kimbrel since they just got David Robertson.
Well, I don't know what their closing situation's like, but apparently they have a guy that's all right. Robertson is not going to be their closer, but I think you're right. They would have got Britton or something. I don't think they'll Kimbrel. I think Kimbrel's down the Red Sox. I think he's going to go back there, honestly. Yeah. They need someone. They're not going to get anyone. Unless they swoop in and get Ottavino, which are going to be pissed. But you say the Red Sox actually have gotten worse, believe it or not. Their bullpen has lost people. There's no more Joe Kelly. I think they lost someone else. I'm not entirely sure who it is, but I know their bullpen was not a strength last year. They did show up in the playoffs, but the regular season wasn't good. They don't really have a real closer right now if they don't get Kimbrel back. So maybe we can get the Red Sox through the shaky pen. So we'll see what happens if we close the gap between us and the Red Sox. I really hope we do.
Yeah.
So to speak of more free agents that haven't signed yet, Dallas Keuchel. What's up? Where do we think he's going to end up?
I think either Phillies or I think he goes to the Reds, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, let me see the teams I have on Keuchel here. Well, I think it's on here, actually. Let's see. Dallas Keuchel. Phillies, like you said, are in the mix still. The Texas Rangers are oddly in the mix. Angels are in the mix, although I can't see that one happening. Brewers make some sense. Got some news about the Brewers and Bumgarner, too, so we'll get to that in a second. And then the Braves are a dark horse for Bumgarner. I like that fit in the beginning. No, not Bumgarner. I meant Keuchel. I like that fit in the beginning, but I'm not too sure. Nice. I saw that yesterday. I'm not too sure how that's all going to go with Keuchel. And then, those are the 5 I have. Phillies, Rangers, Angels, Brewers, and Braves. That's what I have on him right now. I think Phillies makes a ton of sense because they need someone to back up Noah.
Yeah.
Noah's a stud, but they don't have much behind him. I mean, Arrieta's all right. Eichel is all right, but they don't have anyone. I mean, Keuchel to me isn't that good anymore. I've told you I think he's going to be a bust where he signs, actually. I think he's going the wrong way, honestly. But we'll see what happens with Keuchel. So, Brewers and Bumgarner is gaining a lot of smoke. What have you heard about this? And can you see this happening?
You know what? I can see it happening. I'm
going to tell you. Yeah, go ahead.
I've heard some rumblings, and they're saying all the same things, is that, that's a possible landing spot, and they have the resources to make it happen, but so do we, so.
Yes, here's what I have on it. I'll give you all the details. So, the Brewers and Giants are engaging, and the Giants, it looks like they need two things from the Brewers to make this happen. One of their young starting pitchers, Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, and Freddie Peralta. Woodruff was great in the playoffs. He was more out of the bullpen, but I like Woodruff a lot, to be honest. Peralta's not bad either, but to me, Woodruff's the best one out of those guys. And then they need they want Corey Riley. He's their second best prospect.
Mm-hmm.
He's an outfielder. He was from Louisville. He was a first-round pick. This kid's a stud. He's the truth. So if they can get back Riley and one of their good pitchers, I think they would be very tempted to move Bumgarner.
Yeah,
that's a nice return.
I think it's safe to say that they will move.
He will get traded at some point, if I had to say. The big question for me is it going to happen in the offseason, or is it more of a season thing? Are they going to try to salvage it? Because they still have a high payroll, and the Giant fans love Bumgarner. Yeah. That's going to be a tough sell if you move him before the season.
Absolutely.
He's their icon. He's their franchise player. It's him and Buster Posey. Those are the two big dogs for the Giants.
I agree 100%.
So, I would love for the Yankees to get Bumgarner, to be honest. I've been hyping that train up for a while now.
Of course, we all have.
If we sign Machado, and let's say we hold on to Andujar and Didi comes back, at the deadline, I would send Andujar to San Francisco.
For Bumgarner, I think that they would expect that. They would accept it, and they would love it.
The only problem is that I told my dad this the other day. Longoria is at third base. What do they do with Andujar? It's the National League. Would they throw him in the outfield, you think, at that point?
Probably, because we've heard some rumblings that teams, if they traded for Andujar, maybe us, would maybe try him in the outfield.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that could be a possibility then, I guess. So, Andujar in the outfield would be something to see. That would be interesting to see how that would work, because they have Brandon Belt at first, so he can't play first either. So it would have to be the outfield if he was to go to San Francisco. That's why I've been saying Cleveland's a better fit, because Jose Ramirez could just slide over to second, because he plays second and third. So that would not be an issue. And then they want Major League talent. We have Major League talent. I also have come to the realization I want no part of Trevor Bauer. I think he's a head case. He's a little too crazy. I don't think the New York media would like him. I think he's a little too out there for New York. I don't think it's a good fit at all.
Yeah,
I just want to put that on the record.
He is a head case, and a lot of people don't like that, and rightfully so. And we don't need that, honestly. We don't need a head case. We need people who are going to come in and want to win. And honestly, I don't think he gets moved, and maybe if he does, he goes to someplace maybe. Honestly, I don't even
Dodgers.
know.
Dodgers.
Yeah,
Dodgers have had a lot of smoke around Kluber and Bauer, so that's definitely possible. So let's get into this big signing by the Mariners we have not touched on yet. The Japanese pitcher, Kikuchi, I believe. I don't know how to really say his name. It's a weird name, but this is a crazy contract. Listen to how this thing goes. So it's 3 years for $43 million in the beginning, but then there's an option to extend, or he can opt out, and if he goes in, he gets 4 for 66 more.
That's
so
crazy.
The total becomes 7 for around 109. It looks like
that's a nice way to come into this country, huh?
I think that's an interesting move for the Mariners. I don't understand what they're doing, really. They just tore down their whole franchise, and now they're going to pay this guy, I guess. I mean, I guess they think he's better than James Paxton, which I think is lunacy, but we'll see how Paxton does. I hope he proves me right that he's way better than that guy.
I hope so too.
He should be. He should be. I'm really excited for Paxton. I want to see his first game when he pitches.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I would love to see that and see what he could bring to the Yankees. See if he could bring what he brought last year to the Bronx.
Okay, so let's go over some other minor moves, and then I think we're probably good at this point.
Yeah.
So We have the Twins signing Nelson Cruz 1 year for $14 million, and Cruz, Cruz 2.9 WAR, 256 average, 37 homers, 97 RBIs. This guy just gets out of bed and hits. It seems like every year. Doesn't matter how old he is. That power is ridiculous.
Age is just a number. He ages
Cruz,
like fine wine, like a certain somebody in football right now.
Oh no, but Cruz I like that move for the Twins a lot actually, and I like them getting Jonathan Scope. And I think they could push the Indians because the Indians have taken a major step back. They've lost Brantley. They've lost Miller.
The Twins maybe could get back to the way. Remember when they had
the wild card potentially?
What was they had
Hunter Mauer.
Morneau. That's his name.
Morneau, yes. Because they also signed C.J. Cron. The Twins have made some decent moves. They just need to shore up that pitching. That's the only question I have. Really,
they're making some strides.
They're patching it up. They are, and the Indians have lost a lot, like we said. So they could Encarnacion out the door. Brantley, like we said. Then they lost Miller, like we stated already. They traded Yan Gomes, so their catching situation's worse. A lot of problems for the Indians to fix. They don't even have the outfielder to replace Brantley yet. I don't know what they're doing. I don't think it's anything productive, to be honest.
No, so they're in a puddle of trouble right now.
Because they weren't even that good last year, if you think about it. They only won like 92 games in the worst division in baseball. They had a losing record against winning teams, and they got swept when they played a good team. So what does that show you?
It shows that honestly, they're not really that good, are
No,
they?
they're not. They're very overrated.
They're
That's what I'm getting
overrated, and they're overhyped.
Yes, that is definitely true. And now, since they lost all of this, I think they're only in the 80s in wins, honestly. I don't think they're breaking 90 wins next year.
Absolutely not.
I think the Twins could make a push for that in the 80s too, maybe.
I think the Twins maybe are like an 86 or an 89 win team, maybe, if that.
89 would be I think 89 would be their best projection, honestly. I could see like mid-80s, like low 80s being more realistic for them. But they can maybe touch some stuff up, maybe fix a few things. So let's see what other minor things we have here. The Astros have expressed interest in Marcus Stroman, and what do you think about this?
Well, they want to get more pitching to add to, especially since they're going to lose Keuchel.
Yes.
But Stroman, you know what? Stroman did struggle, but I kind of like him. I think
I
think he's a warrior. I think that's somebody I wish the Yankees could have targeted, really. But you know what? For the Astros, I think that's a good. If they could sign him, maybe they could get him cheap. He's not going to ask for a lot of money.
Well, no, he's under contract now, so they would have to, whatever his current situation is, they would just pay that. I don't know like what it is, but
he, I think Stroman to the Astros makes a lot of sense. I could see it happening.
Yeah, I could see it too. It makes all the sense in the world because he was horrible last year. Let's be honest with this.
When was he good in 2017?
2017, I have his split. So last year was 4-9 with an ERA in the mid fives and 19 starts. He was also injured, so I'll give him the benefit a little bit. It's tough to pitch when you're injured. In 2017, he was 13-9. His ERA was just over 3. So he's shown he can be a good pitcher, and he did win the World Baseball Classic for Team USA. I'll never forget that.
Oh, yeah. I remember that, too.
Against his native country in Puerto Rico, too. So that was one. Actually, I guess he's not born there. I don't know what he did. He decided to play for us, but he could have played for them. So it's crazy how that ends up working. But, yeah, he killed it for us that time.
Yes, he did.
So the Blue Jays made some minor moves. They signed Richard from the Padres, and they signed Shoemaker to one-year deals. So I guess maybe they are getting ready to move Stroman. It kind of would make sense if they tried to take flyers on those guys. They probably want to get some value for Stroman. They're rebuilding, obviously. But one thing about Toronto, I can't wait to see Vlad Jr. play. Although he's going to kill us, so that's the only thing.
I can't wait to see him play. I wonder if he has as strong as an arm as his father had.
I tell you what, you watch them hit, and it looks like a mirror.
Vlad
Jr. is an amazing hitter, dude. This guy hits bombs.
You're
about to see next year.
I can't wait to see how he plays, just not against the Yankees.
Yeah, just save them all when you're not playing us. So let's see what other minor ones we have here. The Angels did sign Matt Harvey for a year. I'm not sure if we touched on that. But
I think we did. Yeah, we touched on that.
Okay, they also signed Trevor Cahill, so you see they're trying to get these low deals. Luke Roy as well. They signed 1 year for $3 million. And there was also some other minor moves for the pitching market. The Nationals signed Anibal Sanchez 2 years for $19. He was 2.6 wins above replacement, 7-6 with ERA. just under 3. The A's signed Mike Fiers, who was surprisingly effective for them. 2 years, 15, 12-8, a 3.7 WAR, and then a 3.5 ERA. Then there was a small trade between the Mariners and the Brewers that we also didn't go over. They sent Domingo Santana to the Mariners for Ben Gamble, basically. This makes sense for the Brewers because their outfield was getting crowded with Yelich, Kane, and Braun, so there was no space for Santana. Santana only had 256 at-bats, 5 homers, 20 RBIs. His WAR was around 1, I think. In 2017, this guy was good, though. 30 homers, 85 RBIs, and 15 steals. So he can still play. I think it's
Absolutely.
I like it. This is one of my favorite moves the Mariners did. I do like this one for them.
Yeah.
I think he'll be good there. He's going to have all the chances in the world to shine. He's going to be a very important part. And I'm happy that he gets a chance to play full-time again, because I think he's a decent player. Ben Gamel's kind of just like a pinch runner, like a defensive replacement, honestly. Had like a .5 WAR, 257 average. It looks like 1 homer, 19 RBIs, 7 steals, 272 average. Yeah. So the rest of the market, I'm going to go over some people we haven't touched on yet quickly. Then we're going to wrap this up. Brian Dozier had a 1 WAR last year, hit just 215. But in 2015, wait, where's his numbers? I have his splits here somewhere, but I just know that Dozier, he has better baseball in him. He had 37, 38 homers in 2017. Last year, he fell off. So I'm expecting Dozier to he could have a decent bounce back. I see the Rockies and Brewers have expressed interest in Dozier, so I could see him landing there. Speaking of that, we did not do this one. Daniel Murphy, 2 for 24 for the Rockies. I think that's a decent pickup for them. He's going to play first, maybe even second. I think he's going to hit bombs in that park.
Yep.
And he's a great average hitter, too, so
yes,
he really provides balance for that lineup.
He's always been consistent throughout his entire career.
I think there's only one guy we haven't really touched on at this point. I think I finally got through everyone almost. A.J. Pollock.
We didn't really save the best for last, but one of the best for last, didn't we?
Yeah, A.J. Pollock is actually the second best outfielder behind Bryce Harper, probably. So Pollock wanted a 5-year deal for $80 million.
That's all he wanted?
He's not going to get that, though.
You don't think the Yankees would throw that at him? Or
we're not getting Pollock.
So would you be interested in Pollock?
Possibly, but the problem is he's been very injured.
Oh,
the
that's
last time he played a full season was 2015. He had 20 homers, 79 RBIs, and 39 steals, and 315, though. So this guy can be really good. The problem is he has not been healthy. Last season, he had a 257 average, 21 homers, 65 RBIs, 13 steals, and a 2.5 WAR, but he missed some time. Like he has the last 3 years, he's missed time. So that's the thing with Pollock. He's going to have to lower his expectations, as will most of the people left in the market at this point, in my opinion. So, let's see. I think we're about good, honestly. I think we've covered a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of stuff that happened over the last few weeks. Going forward, next week, we're going to get you guys more involved. This week, it just had to be us. It was just too much. I couldn't throw anything in there. So I'll take care of that. Don't worry. But here's what's up. You guys can ask your questions next week. We'll answer them. And also, we'll have breaking stuff if we sign anyone else. If we sign Machado, there'll be an emergency video. Or if we somehow get Bryce Harper,
look,
but that's not going to happen.
A lot on this video, you will probably see me look down a lot, and that's because I'm keeping tabs on what's going on.
Yes,
that's a lot of...
Yeah, he did show me some good stuff while we were doing this. Also... Yeah, so we'll be back next week with baseball. You could catch us Saturday for football, so that'll be good too.
It's coming down to the wire. Yes, I can't wait.
Yes, so that's some fun stuff. Hopefully next week we have a Machado signing to report. Mm-hmm. That's my message. Yankees, let's go get him. Come on, it's time, baby.
Yep.
I'm Julian Gallardi.
I'm Bobby Thompson.
That's all we have time for today at G&T.
See you soon.
Yes, we will.